Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Three Strangers podcast. I am your host, Ryan.
And I'm Bill.
And I'm Nick.
And if you ever wondered what we do before the start of a podcast, if you thought we probably talk about the movie, if we start to
Yeah.
game plan, we talked about the difference between Dove soap and Dove chocolate and about
And we really
Pokemon
want to know the
cards.
input. Yeah, and
Pokemon cards. Cards. We had some animals run into our spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a very productive one, I would say.
Really want to know the commenters, the viewers and listeners' perspective on the fact that there are two companies named Dove. One's chocolate, one is soap, and apparently that's okay in this capitalistic world.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't mean to get overly crazy here or spiral us back into this conversation, but you ever see those charts where it's what companies own what other companies and
Yeah.
how
Mhm.
few true big companies there are that kind of control a large satellite thing. Yeah, no, I mean that's a little scary. That's a little scary, right? We probably don't want to make a blanket statement, but yeah, I feel like that's probably not good. Okay, I actually will make a blanket statement. Yeah, that's probably not good. But hey, I mean there's only so little we can do about it. We're kind of freedom fighters in that way.
We are freedom
We
fighters.
you know
Yeah.
what?
Small business. Support small business.
Support small business well, don't ask what we're drinking right now, but
Except no.
actually I'm gonna hide my yeah. Mhm.
And I do want to say, because we talked about how the Dove soap has the bird and the Dove chocolate used to have the bird, but it doesn't. I ended up looking it up, and literally the only reason they changed was because they wanted to make it minimalistic. That was just the time. So what if we did liquid chocolate in the piping?
This is a weird tangential bird thing that I think you guys can both appreciate. I don't want to distract us too much from what we're here to talk about today, but I go to trivia. I go to bar trivia a lot. And there was a crazy picture around the other night where it was matching up the old school logos of NFL teams. Uh,
Oh.
and you
Oh.
might think it'd be pretty easy because it'd just be like an older cartoon version of their mascot or whatever. But I gotta say, some of them were really abstract, and some of them were really were kind of you had to go on vibes alone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the absolute most difficult one was trying to figure out which one was the Seahawks logo, which one was the Ravens logo, and which one was the freaking Eagles
I
logo.
was gonna say the bird ones probably were really difficult, trying to
Yeah.
distinguish between all of them.
We were like, well, this one's facing forward and looks angry, so that's probably the Eagles. No, by the way, it was the Ravens. If you guys want to see the pretty sick OG logo, by the way, it makes Ravens look very cool, and they are cool, but it's something about that imagery is really good. What are we
Yeah,
here
well,
for?
I got a pivot for us. I got
Yes,
a pivot
please
for us. Don't
pivot.
worry,
I'd love to see
because
this.
Pivot.
you talked about birds, and in England, a lot of the times when they're referring to girls, they say birds. Look at the birds.
Oh yeah.
And on top of that,
Um,
you talked about going to a bar. What other way can we say a bar? We're going to the pub. Which this movie's a pub crawl. We are talking, of course, of the third and final movie in the Cornetto Trilogy, being The World's End.
Very nice, Ryan. You really landed the plane.
Yeah.
I think
Nice.
I
Got it.
ripped off the joystick and Nick took out one of the engines, but you did you did land the plane. You did land the plane. Yes, I was excited for this movie as kind of the conclusion to the trilogy. Also the one I have never seen for before this. And just what was the vibe going to be like from talking about Hot Fuzz, right? How is it going to be different? Um, but what about you guys? What was your kind of thoughts leading into it?
This was one that I've seen before a long time ago, so it was really nice getting to rewatch it. I I mean, I have a lot of thoughts about it, but what I wanna kind of start with, uh, to get you guys thinking a little bit is think about some trilogies that you like, some of your favorite trilogies, and while you're thinking about that, Nick, I want you to say your beginning thoughts of The World's End.
So The World's End was the Cornetto Trilogy movie that I knew nothing about. Hot Fuzz I'd heard a lot. Um, oh my god, the other one,
Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead. Obviously gets talked about the most in like horror. Um, but as far as in the World's End, I knew nothing about it, and I was quite perplexed in the first 30 minutes of this because it just felt like a comedy. And I was quite confused why it was labeled as sci-fi. And I was happily my confusion was happily answered. And yeah, no, I think that took a turn for me. That was like,
Mhm,
oh, this movie's not what I thought it was, and for the better.
Mm.
mhm,
I will say I weirdly knew, and I think it's maybe just because I like looked at like the blurb on Google or something. I weirdly knew like the only thing I knew was, group of friends goes on a pub crawl, and it actually said, and they found out, spoiler, that their town got taken over by aliens. Like
mhm,
that there was an extraterrestrial threat in the town. I wish
Mm,
I didn't know that, dude. I
mm.
wish I had
yeah,
known that.
It was
Yeah.
a fun experience not knowing.
Yeah. 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 No, like, then I was kind of like, well, we'll get into it, but then I was like, wait a second, extraterrestrials are just kinda robots, and then I'm like, well, not quite, you know?
yeah,
It's
and they
kinda
even make fun of
interesting.
that in the movie a little bit. Uh, so I wanna ask you guys before we kind of talk about the movie more in detail, because I said about trilogies, what
Mhm.
are some of your guys' favorite trilogies? Or you could word it as I could word it as what is either one of your favorites or what you think is some of the best trilogies.
I'll say off rip for me, I love Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. Now, I have to be let me center in on the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Unfortunately,
Mhm.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was terrible, overall, and that somehow I'm like, well, like, I won't get into this here, but, like, I was Dial of Destiny was maybe one of the most disappointing movie experiences, maybe of my entire life.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, because,
Yeah.
sorry, I really love, that director, oh, geez, Ford versus Ferrari and, um oh god. Okay, sorry, this is gonna yeah, sorry. I thought you could pull it up for me, please, but, he's, um God, what's his name?
It is James
Yes,
Mangold.
James Mangold. He also directed Logan,
Yep,
the X-Men movie.
Logan's
Um,
great.
Logan's great. So 2 great movies, and so I
Mhm.
was really excited for his take on Indiana Jones. It really sucked. That is my answer, though. What about you, Nick?
Definitely, I'd say very parallel to what everything you just said. The Pirates of the Caribbean original trilogy
Mhm.
is is what I would say is
'Cause
I was probably my favorite growing up. And then I have to be honest, I'm a big Star Wars
That's what I was
s-
gonna say.
Star Wars prequel trilogy. I mean both. I mean
Whoa,
let's
but
talk
both, yeah.
if we're talking greatest like sagas, I mean right, the original trilogy's up there, no question, but
Mhm.
I prefer the prequel trilogy to the original.
It's really funny. Yes, I would say you wait a second. Sorry. You said you prefer the prequel
I prefer the prequel trilogy. Mm-hmm.
to the original trilogy?
Yes.
Okay, let's just table that, I guess.
Yeah, I was
Let's
gonna
just
say
table
that
that.
it was like, that's a
Let's just
crazy thing to
let's
say.
just table that. Jesus. Okay, well, again, not to Star Wars nerd out. They're good. They're good, and they got a lot of hate at the time that was probably undeserved considering
Undeserved hate at the time. I
how
think they're just wildly different than the originals, and I think there's more intricate depth in those three movies than the episode 4, 5, and 6.
somebody said something kind of interesting, like, okay, so 1999, um, like Phantom Menace comes out, and kind of like vaguely, like, I believe Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005, and then like within 15 years of that trilogy ending,
Mhm.
basically opinions had completely flipped, and
Yeah.
people were like, they were actually really good. Like, by
Yeah.
2020, people were like, they were really good. Um, and then postulating question, are people going to say that about the sequel trilogy?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't,
No.
I don't see it now, y'all. I don't see it now, but who knows, right? Who knows?
Mm,
Who
Mhm.
knows?
so
Maybe
I'll
we'll,
say for that
yeah.
to, like, kind of do a different, set of movies and a little bit more horror related, the X
Yeah.
Pearl Maxine trilogy, I
Oh,
think is
yes,
a
dude.
very good trilogy.
Hmm.
Now, Bill, your answer is the Indiana Jones trilogy. So I want you
Yes.
those 3 movies that you're thinking of from that trilogy, those
Hmm.
original 3, I want you to say your feelings very brief of each
Sure.
one in terms of, like, quality, not quality, like, is it good? You could do it either critically or, like, personal feelings.
This is very interesting. Yeah, I'll keep this brief. There's a great graph that is maybe talking about our concept with this, where it's like what movie in the trilogy is generally the best, right?
Right.
Um, actually, the weirdest thing about Indiana Jones is that it follows a very strange path, at least for me, in that the first one is really good. The second one is far the weakest of the three. And then the
Mhm.
final one, The Last Crusade, is the best one.
Mhm. And for those of
Um,
you who haven't seen Indiana Jones, could you just say, like, the names of the first 2?
sorry.
Just I don't know how many fans might not have seen Indiana Jones, just,
No, you're good. I would say so in order from worst to best, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, um, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it got retroactively renamed to Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark,
yeah.
and then the final one, um, Indiana Jones, the Last Crusade.
Mhm.
And then don't even worry about the other 2
Yeah.
came after that because it's diminishing returns by a really big deal. Um,
Don't even
Yeah.
worry
What
about it.
about you
yeah,
next? So you said Pirates of the Caribbean. We'll do that one.
I want to
Your
hear
thoughts are
this
critically. What do you think of that
because
the story?
This is a hard question, because I've actually never considered it. I I mean, I think in a trilogy, usually the second one, the sequel, is the weaker of the 3. That doesn't
Mhm.
apply necessarily for the Pearl trilogy, but um, I don't know, it's so tough. I think I think it would go. Are we talking quality of movie generally,
It is up to you. I'll
my
let you do
preference?
your personal favorites, but you can say,
Okay.
like, critically, this one's not as well received, but I think it's the best. Like, you could do whichever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't honestly know the splits between the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, if I'm being honest. Because it's one of those like I don't have to look into them very much because of how much they were part of my childhood.
Yeah.
Um, but preference wise, I definitely love. I mean, I love the first one the most. Um, but the third one is also very good. The second one is the weakest because of the all the introductions and the too much kind of prologue, and then obviously it's a cliffhanger ending, and so that doesn't sound great. And there's all that confusing stuff that goes on with Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner and Jack Sparrow, and you're like, what is going on? Why is this a love triangle? Is that what's happening? Like trying to make
Mhm.
sense of that, and it just didn't seem like it was real. So that would be my answer.
Okay. And then we brought up Star Wars, like, critically, of course, Episode 4, there's not much to say. It's excellent. Episode 5, a lot of people refer to it as the best in the whole series.
Yep.
it
And
is
then
it is.
I
By
also
the
would
way,
agree with that. I
I think
agree with
it
Return
that.
of the
is.
Jedi is, but it's all good. It's all good.
What really? Oh,
Really?
Nick, you have some
Yes.
hot
Yeah.
takes, dude.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
God,
That's not.
yeah.
That
Return
I
of the
think is like the second take. Yeah, it's the second take. I'd say a hot
Wait,
take would be like I think the Phantom Menace is the best movie, of all the
wait, wait,
9
wait,
movies.
wait, 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 wait. So sorry, you're saying that Return of the Jedi is the best Star Wars movie?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I
Okay,
think honestly,
okay,
personally, I like Revenge of the Sith the most.
I
okay.
would
Episode
agree
3.
with that. Like,
That'd be my
personal
second
favorite.
favorite movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Return of the Jedi is is close. I mean, I think its fault, its flaw is that like, hey, what if we do episode 5 again?
Yeah, but like
Right.
worse. And sorry, I remember even as like a little kid, my ass
Mhm.
was like I thought I had like some like esoteric like cool opinion on it, where I was like the fourth one is good, but the fifth one, they're like you know, or like the first one is good, the second one's the best, and the third one is not as good.
Yeah.
But then I found out that that's like the opinion like most people hold, you know, about
Yeah,
like the
and that's
original
kind of what I was
trilogy,
gonna
you know,
say. Episode 6, a lot of people see as the weakest of the trilogy, of that original
of
trilogy.
that original trilogy.
Uh,
It beats
and then of
out,
course,
yeah, yeah.
well, I
Sorry.
said X Pearl, Maxine, X, great. Pearl, people see it as better than X. I kind of like
Mm-hmm.
X at the tiniest little
Oh,
bit more than
okay.
Mhm.
Pearl.
It's
Still
close.
love Pearl, and then Maxine as the weakest. I could
Mhm.
also pull out Saw. Saw,
Yeah, 1, 2, and
excellent.
3.
People love Saw. Saw
Mhm.
2, not as good.
Mhm.
Critically, not as good, but still very well received. And then the third one, the weakest of that. So now I'm going to wrap this all the way back around to what we're talking about today, The World's End, the final of the uh of the trilogy.
Mhm.
Would you guys would not don't need big answers. This could be just yes or no. We won't do any explanations just yet. Would you say The World's End is the weakest of the Cornetto trilogy? I'll start with Nick. Simple yes or no.
No. No.
Bill, what about you?
Sorry, I'm excited to discuss this movie because I'll have a better answer. But right now, I'm gonna say no as well.
Okay, so then can I ask if your order is Shaun of the Dead weakest, World's End, Hot Fuzz, or somewhere these two switched?
What I'll say to you is that for me, showing my hand a little early is that
Mhm,
I still think Hot Fuzz is the best of the three, but
mhm,
it is a shootout between
mhm.
the other two for the thing. Like I'm thinking yeah, it's a shootout. And I'm excited. I was excited like finishing the movie. I'm like, I don't know. I expected it to be weaker, but I don't think it
Mhm.
was. I don't think it was.
What
Anyway,
about you, Nick?
oh, you're gonna
I
drop a
don't
bomb? Are you gonna drop a bomb?
don't
Like,
know. I don't know. I don't know because I think like through this I realized I don't like British comedies.
wow.
Like I and that's not and I can't say that's I'm not saying they're bad. I don't think I think they might be one of my least favorite genres, so it's tough for me
You're not alone, by the
to
way.
pull
You
strings here.
know.
I think I very much liked Shaun of the Dead, but it seemed I don't know. I don't know. I think the mere plot twist that I didn't know about in The World's End
Mhm,
like is what won it for me.
mhm.
Whereas I think Alpha's probably is a objectively better movie, but also I think The World's End says a lot more than
Yeah.
the other two movies. And I was like, oh, I think there might be some more depth in The World's End than I originally thought there would be.
Mhm. So don't we're gonna talk about that. I'm
Okay.
still
Okay.
big picture thing that we're gonna be going into.
Big picture. Sorry. Big
All right.
picture.
No, 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 you're good because I wanna, like, tie this all up with why I'm
Well,
going on this, like, little tangent here.
right. Well, wait a minute, Ryan. What about you?
I
Where's
think
your
that
ranking?
my order probably would be Hot Fuzz, World's End, Shaun of the Dead,
Okay, I think we're all sorry if I'm misremembering. Like, I think we're all kind of thinking that maybe.
or somewhere with something and
Yeah.
maybe a little
Yeah.
switch
Okay.
somewhere
Okay.
within there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
the reason I asked this is because now you could do simple yes or no again with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, you knew Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead very well, I don't wanna say very well, but you knew of Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, but
Beforehand.
not really The World's End, right?
Right. I had seen those two a long time ago, but I had not seen The World's End until I remember it coming out, but I had not seen it until this most recent time.
Mhm.
Right.
And then Nick, for you, is that the same thing,
Yeah.
that you kind of knew of Shaun of the Dead and
Yep.
Hot Fuzz, but not really The World's End?
Yes.
So, isn't it interesting how The World's End kind of got, like, pushed aside a little bit? That not like, it not as I don't wanna say not as well received because it's an award-winning movie. It won awards.
Mm.
Can I? to add on to this, dude,
Mm,
I like what you're getting at. I like what you're getting
mm,
at, and I don't know if you have like some like bomb to drop. To be clear, when I heard about the Cornetto trilogy, I was like, oh yeah, Shaun of the Dead, cool. Oh yeah, like Hot Fuzz, cool. And then I was like, what is this third movie?
Yeah,
mhm.
same.
Like
Same.
Yeah.
it was really like that level of fall off. So is there some secret reason, or or are you just
Well, no,
postulating?
I wanna ask a different question based on all of those things, right? Because now
Yeah.
we've watched the entire Cornetto trilogy.
Mhm.
Would you say that the whole entire Cornetto trilogy, and Nick, this might be a little bit different for you since you said you're not a big fan of British comedies,
Mhm.
but would you say that quality-wise between all 3 of the movies, that this would make this one of the better trilogies ever made?
Like, generally?
Generally, yeah. Of any series, any trilogy that you could think of, your favorites, there's so many that we didn't even talk about, like the Dark Knight trilogy, we didn't bring that
Oh,
up, you
shoot.
know?
That
We
probably
didn't
should have been discussed,
well, no,
yeah.
that's fine, I think it's interesting that we brought up different ones, right?
Mhm.
Because if we just do the same one that everyone talks about, you have Friday the 13th, you have the original trilogy for that, you have
Mm,
Halloween, you have,
mhm.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Would you say that quality-wise, and also you could even say personal enjoyment, that this is one of the better trilogies that you've watched?
I don't know, have y'all ever seen, the Before trilogy?
Before what?
The
Sorry, I'm
the
not sure.
The
Before trilogy, you haven't
Hey, let me answer your
Before
question for
what?
you. Okay.
Um,
the
Uh,
sunrise,
yeah,
sunset, and midnight one with, Ethan Hawke.
before sunset, and before midnight.
Mhm.
what are you guys talking about?
Oh my gosh,
I
Bill.
apparently have
Bill,
not seen
Bill,
this.
Bill, Bill, next date
E
night,
Ethan Hawke?
you gotta
Yeah.
find Before
Okay.
Sunrise.
Before Sunrise. Is that the first one?
Yes,
I'm
it's the first
assuming?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, quick
Well,
thing before, wow, this is totally tangential, but before it's a trilogy shot in real time. So one movie was in 1995, and then they shot the next movie in 2005, and then they shot the next movie in 2015 with the same
whoa.
actors in the same plot. Well, the same,
Mm.
it's focusing on the same two people. So you watch these three actors within three movies age 30 years.
Okay, so this is some like Boyhood
Yeah,
type.
similar
Okay,
to
kind of.
Boyhood.
So a little
Um, it's
Boyhood-esque. Okay.
it's also a very uniquely written movie in the sense of you're watching two people talk.
Mhm. Also, same director as Boyhood.
Oh, and the same
Same.
director.
Oh my God. Okay, so
Like
so he loves this shit apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, like
yeah.
okay, because that's literally I'm like that's a Boyhood ass concept. But okay, you're saying
And
that
on top
it's
of that, director of course, one of the greatest films, School of Rock.
Hell
no
yeah.
way.
Mhm.
Wait, wait, School of Rock was wait, wasn't that wait a minute. Wasn't
School
School of
Rock, Jack Black.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
I know that, but wait a second, that was directed by Edgar Wright, right? School of Rock was not directed by Edgar Wright?
No, it's, directed by Richard,
Richard
Linklater, or
Linklater.
yeah.
Oh my God, that is a Richard Linklater film. You know what I'm thinking about? For some reason, Scott Pilgrim and School of Rock are weirdly combined in my head. I don't know why. Like their
Oh,
animated
okay.
nature, maybe, or something, like, or vaguely having to do with kids. Sorry. Anyway,
No,
okay,
you're
I don't
good.
know. You
Great
talk.
trilogy, but this is, this a trilogy, like, the Cornetto trilogy. Would you
Mhm.
say it's up there for one of the best trilogies that you've watched?
I don't know. It's the most solid. Like as far as when it comes to like entries, to
Mm,
me they all kind of average the same rating. Is that a hot take?
Interesting.
it's
Okay,
really
so
interesting.
so you're saying like theoretically, not that this would be like your actual rating, but like
Mhm.
like you'd rate one like 6, 7, and 8, and then like they average out to all be like sevens or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna make a general statement that maybe is kind of previewing my entire kind of thought process. Um, there's like some movies that you just like can go and grab and like watch, and you're excited to watch them no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
kinda don't feel that way about any of these. Um, Hot Fuzz gets the closest to, like, something that I would
Yeah.
pop on, but I would sooner pop it on with a group of people, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
It's a
And
like a
these
good
do feel
movie.
very good of, like, watching it with, like, friends, like, this entire trilogy.
there are some movies that I swear to God get improved if you're, like, watching them like, it's, like, all the Hangover films,
Yeah.
most dumb
Yeah.
comedies,
Yeah.
most dumb horror movies, like, like, it's yeah. No, I would say but I would also agree with these, even though the comedy might not land for everyone. Sounds like it really didn't land for you, Nick.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, it's deadpan. It's deadpan and it's fast.
Mhm.
And I mean, it sometimes warrants like watching it again to like pick up on the comedy, pick up on the jokes. But I do think if you don't like deadpan flat comedy, then it's gonna fall. If you don't like deadpan British comedy, you're gonna fall flat because it's dry. It's a really dry humor. Um, that you have to have that niche. I think you have to like that. You have to like it. I mean, it's the same reason why I love the Office US version, but I can't get through the Office the British version. Right.
It is tough to sorry, there was, this show called The IT Crowd that you guys may or may not have heard of, and I had, like, some roommates that, like, absolutely love that show, and I liked it, but I was like, they're engaging and enjoying it on a whole different level than I am. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that's okay, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? So, um,
Yeah. And for me,
but,
one of my favorite,
mhm.
like, shows that I've ever watched is The Inbetweeners, which is,
Oh,
like,
dude.
peak British comedy,
Yeah.
Mm,
and
okay.
I think it is so incredibly hilarious and funny, but I know for some like, it would not land the same.
Yeah.
The comedy just would not be as funny.
Yeah.
Right. Um God damn. Yeah, no, that's, like, so interesting. Sorry, there is an interesting thing with, like actually, The Office is such an interesting example because it literally is, in a in a perfect, like, universe, like, it is such a direct, like, translation, but
Yeah.
it's just obviously that worked for you know British market and like it was not like it just like they knew that it wouldn't have worked in America as well. They knew,
Mhm.
that's why they took the idea. They just didn't actually make the characters the same or write the same either.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
that didn't always work out because they tried a US version of The Inbetweeners, and it was a failure. It
Oh,
did
okay.
not do well.
oh, it super failed. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not know that they did that. So there you go. If
Mhm.
that's any kind of I'm not
Yeah,
great
and
on TV though with stuff like that, but yeah. You guys wanna kinda get into the plot? Kinda
Yeah.
yeah.
kinda get into the thing?
Yeah, let's
Yeah?
talk about it. And I asked the question of, like, how you think of it as other trilogies because I think it's great. I think that The World's End is a very good movie. It's interesting how it's not as talked about, it's kind of the unknown where out of all of them, I think it has the best character motivations, it's the best character analysis of all of the entire trilogy, I think. I think it's the weakest comedically of the 3, and I
Dude,
think that might be the issue of it.
this movie's
Mm,
really not funny. This movie's really
yeah.
not
The
funny.
whole second half is
It's
like, oh,
really
this
not
is
funny.
kind of a human drama.
Yeah.
Which is okay, it's like, there's, like, some jokes mixed in, but, like, it is, like, largely, like, the humor is either not there or, like, not working as well, I would say. But yes. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So let's get started talking about it. I mean,
Okay.
I think, and this is of course we already had the spoiler earlier on, so your alert warning was already there. But in
Mhm.
just in case, I mean, I definitely would recommend this. I'm not sure about you guys. I think you should watch it. It's very strong, great acting in it. There's actors and actresses you're gonna see in it. It's like, what are they doing in this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
if you're anything like me, though, although you really enjoyed the movie, you really struggled throughout almost the entire movie to get the names of characters right. I am going to I watched this with Kristen, thank God I did. I was like, "Which one is this person?" So, I'm actually going to, while we're kinda just talking about this, I'm gonna pull up a guide for myself so that
Mm.
I know which person I'm talking about. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so let's
Okay.
kind of talk about it in terms of like our characters. You know, we said how it's about a pub crawl, and I think this probably of the trilogy, Simon Pegg's character as Gary King, I think this is the most interesting character that he's acted within the trilogy, compared to Hot Fuzz and to Shaun of the Dead. He plays an alcoholic that basically is trying to live in the past and is trying to do this pub crawl that they failed back when they were kids.
Yeah, definitely living in the past. Definitely, he is reminiscing. He's kind of going through what a lot of people go through when they kind of grieve the past, and
Mhm.
in order to grieve the past, they just don't let go, and they don't grieve, and they try to recreate the same things that they did with their pals, um, which is a more heartfelt. It's a bit more of a real scenario, kind of a one of those like buddy comedy route, which obviously Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead are, but it's a bit more real. I think, to my opinion, uh, it's like less it's less fictional,
Mhm.
right? And more
Mhm.
like, okay, this is a very real thing that happens.
It's, like, interesting because, I agree. I agree with that statement. There's something, like, weird, like, about it kinda all, and I think it's, like, the larger, like, message of this movie maybe, is that, like, everybody does this, like, where it's, like, everybody, like, romanticizes the past. No, the past wasn't as good as you remember it, like, everybody you know what
Mm,
I'm saying?
Mhm.
Everybody longs for a romanticized past that wasn't reality. You just
yeah,
remembered it as such, you know?
yeah, yeah.
It's really easy to do that. It's actually everybody's very emotionally mature in this movie, in that vein, except for Simon Pegg's character.
Mhm.
Although there is slips from the other characters at various times where
Yeah.
they kind of you can sense it. I'm specifically thinking of Eddie Marson's character Peter and
Mhm.
Mhm.
his whole bullying situation. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
yes. Very interesting. That was a very interesting point in the movie. But, yeah, I guess to kinda start, like, we kind of, this whole beginning part almost felt to me like, when they set up, like, a Mission Impossible movie or, like,
Mm.
a height like an Ocean's 11 or 12 type deal when it's like you gotta get the crew together first, you know? Um,
yeah,
Mhm.
and
yeah, yeah.
and
Crew gathering.
and the basic, takeaway that I got from this is that everybody's doing relatively well, except for Simon Pegg. There's
Yeah.
different levels of
Yep.
success, but yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I like that about this movie because we start the movie with Simon Pegg's character Gary King kind of talking about them as like children and all of this like stuff, how he is like the
Yeah.
king. They all follow him. They all do this stuff,
Right.
but they've all moved on. They don't think
And
about
no,
that anymore. And I
Yeah.
love when they return how you start to get like those little like reality checks between all of the characters and we see the
Hmm.
cracks within the childhood that stuff that Gary didn't bring up, very quickly talks about the bullying, not that much. But then we
Hmm.
see that in real time as soon as he comes back to the town. We see how the one friend is kind of into to Martin Freeman's character, the O Man, his sister. We see that in real time. It's not really talked about in the flashback.
Yeah.
It's I think that's why it becomes clever writing because it doesn't give away everything. It kind of shows you little snippets of it, and then once they're back, then this is where we're gonna really get to dive into these emotions.
Yeah.
yes. Um, there's something that I know like came up for me relatively. I'm like interesting. This is kind of like coming up a lot. That like, okay. real life for a second. Real life for a second. I don't want to speak for us all. I don't want to out us all. I have a important high school reunion thing coming up,
Oh, 10
and
years
Oh.
probably, right?
10 years. Wow.
Mm.
Mhm.
Thank
Oh,
you for that. No, it's
sorry.
okay.
It's
It's
a
okay. It's okay. But yeah, I mean, that's like the first one that matters, right?
yeah.
Um, and the kind of crazy thing that I'm thinking about it, is that like dang, like except for a select few people, I don't really think about people a lot from high school anymore. In fact, like I really have no idea like how some people are doing. In like a kind of like whoa, like time flies very quick way. That's why I find this to be kind of interesting, but perhaps kind of truthful. That when he's doing this whole like assembling thing, it's like people saw each other here and there throughout their 20s, but then it's like none of them have seen Peter in a long time. Or
Yes.
sorry, Simon Pegg's character
Yeah.
Gary.
Yes.
I kept
Yeah.
calling him the king. I kept calling him the king. Like it's a surprise. Everybody's surprised to see him. They're like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god," you know, you know. Perhaps that's pretty real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it is pretty real. I mean, I can use a real life setting. There are 4 people from high school who were invited to my wedding. One of them is coming. One of them I talked to last night, who is regretfully not coming. But it is that like, man, in high school, you think there's such a importance and what's the word? Not invincibility, but like yeah, I guess invincibility of
Per,
the friends that you have of like the
permeance.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
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 the
yeah, yeah,
permeance
yeah.
of the
Sure.
friend
Mhm.
group that you've got. Thank you, Bill.
No, you're good.
Um, and it's not, and I think it's almost in a similar way. That like the not to bring up the pandemic, but the pandemic like taught me how like the fragility of things.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
but it's a very real fragility that happens with high school friends.
It like it's one of those things though. I have to like admit to myself, like with like the anniversary coming up, like I'm like okay. Like I came from like a relatively small graduating class. Like I may be interested in seeing like 20% of that
Mhm.
graduating class though. The others like can kind of like I'm like I don't not want to see them, but I'm like I'm just not like terribly like interested in like what they're doing. And like I think that is where we are finding Gary at the beginning of the thing. Nobody was seeking him out, you know? So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
behind yeah, exactly, and then that's what, like, brought me in. I have to say, like, it was like, "Oh, Gary hasn't moved on."
Right.
Yeah.
Gary has not moved on, everybody has, and, like, it was interesting, and then it was sad, it was almost like this, like, patheticism, like, this, like I don't even know if that's a word, but, like, I almost saw him as pathetic because all of his other friends were, like, looking at him in that same way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Simon Pegg is pretty pathetic throughout this movie. It almost
Yeah.
makes it a little hard to
Yeah.
watch in that
Yes.
way. Yes.
Biggest complaint.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like his character arc is way too much. Like you almost don't like it's like he like sees things like from the past, and you almost want to be like, all right, chill,
Yeah,
like
yeah, 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 yeah.
it's
Like it
Mm.
wasn't that good, man. Like it wasn't that good. Like I'm so sorry if you're reminiscing about like your I think this is in the culture now. Like if you're reminiscing that much about your high school days, you're kind of just a loser. You're kind of just a loser. Like I'm sorry, you
But I
know.
think that's the point. I think
Yeah.
that's the
yeah,
point because we can't
yeah,
have the story have that, like, emotional buildup if he isn't like that. And
yeah,
yeah, it takes that long, and then by the end, he's still the same person. He doesn't change really. You
right,
know? He
Right.
apologizes for what he's done to, like, at least to his best friend, to Andy.
Right, to
Other
Andy.
than that, he's basically the same.
I will say to
right,
yeah, to kinda yeah, wait a second, he Seinfelded, he didn't learn anything.
yeah,
He didn't get, yeah, there's no moral lesson at the end for him,
yeah.
that's
Not
kinda
usually
sad.
the quality of an amazing movie.
Right, right, yeah. It kinda works though, right?
Yeah.
Although he didn't get oh, that's kinda well, I mean, we'll talk about the ending. Like, we'll talk about the true ending, but maybe he didn't need to. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't need to change considering everything. Um,
Yeah. But, I
Mm.
mean, I bet we could all name people that we know that, like, still live in the past like that, you know? It's
yeah,
been years since we've all been in high
Yeah.
school. You know, we probably
And this
follow
guy
people
named
on
Bill.
Facebook or Instagram, stuff like that, that we're like, "Oh god, like, brother, please grow up." Like
no, you see, sorry, I was gonna tell. I'm sorry, it's so telling because it's also like, oh yeah, I feel like like I have like a lot more positive like memories and like with like the people from like college, and then I'm like, look who I'm doing this fucking podcast. Like it's like I'm like yeah, maybe you guys would agree, like I'm like, but yeah,
Uh,
the high school feels like a really long time away now, and I don't know if that's like scarier. It's gonna get scarier, but, yeah, kind of interesting. Perhaps our own melancholy on the movie, right?
yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting that he reverts back to, just kind of his old ways in the end, and I think that every movie up to that point that we had in the trilogy has like that I'm gonna change. Like in Shaun of the Dead, he changes and he's able to
Yeah.
be with Liz. And
Oh,
then in Hot
Yeah,
Fuzz,
it
he's
does.
able to have that change and be able to be in that small town and like end up loving it. I like
Mhm.
how this movie switches it up, how like it is kind of the point of it, but how he always thinks about the past, and then kind of at the end of it, he's apologized for what he's done, but he still lives in the past. He's no longer, like, regretful of it.
Mm.
it's interesting because I feel like, like, he's okay, okay, with this hypothesis, why is he getting everyone together again? To literally relive the past or to apologize to Andy, or is it just like purely selfish reasons? Or does he feel like if he completes this that somehow he can close a chapter on his life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think we could look at it as is he able to? Did he get that drink at the world's end?
Mm.
Was he able to complete the cycle?
maybe so. Maybe so. I mean, to kind of disorderly talk about this movie, um, the movie almost kind of seems like it's going to end before it really gets going.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like until
it
the whole like
does.
everybody's ready to go home. Everybody's
Yeah, he
ready
gets the
to
world's end, at the end. It's like, "Oh, okay. They're
oh,
there."
well, sorry, I'm talking about,
Earlier
uh,
when the argument happens?
yes, when they get into an
Oh,
argument, I think on, like, spot 4 or 5, and they're like,
yep.
"Cool, we're gonna, like this was, like, an awkward kinda reunion, and, like, we're just gonna go." Like, you know what I'm like,
Mm.
it's kinda like one of those things. Um, then it is sort of this external threat, question mark, that kinda
Mm.
brings them together, you know?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the fucking plot twist of the century for me, because
Mhm.
you're right. Like in a half hour, I think it's like a half hour, 40 minutes into the movie that happens, and it's like, and I hit the point where I was like, I really don't think I like this movie. I don't think I like it, And then the bathroom scene happens after the argument, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Mhm.
What did I just see? What? But blue paint, blue stuff coming out of people's neck with heads popping off. Like it was like so bonkers that suddenly I was like, oh shit, what is happening? I was really roped back in.
I would say not like I think I've mentioned this movie so many times on the podcast before, but the Stepford Wives,
Mhm.
specifically not the 2000s one that's really bad, the
Mhm.
70s one, this scene where it's like you suddenly become aware that like somebody is not what they appear to be and like like they have this like this whole thing. I don't think that the action gets much better in this movie, than this whole bathroom fight scene, this
Oh yeah.
combined bathroom fight scene. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It's really good. It's really well choreographed. It's kind of an action-heavy movie, though,
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
you guys say? But they
Yeah.
all kind of are. The Cornetto Trilogy kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like this is in between between like Hot Fuzz and The World's End is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is full action in terms of when
Yes.
release dates. So Hot Fuzz
Which
came out
Oh,
2007, Scott
oh,
Pilgrim came out 2010, The World's End
okay.
came out 2013.
oh, I see. I see
You're
what you're saying.
you're talking about Edgar Wright.
Mhm,
Okay, Edgar Wright. Sorry, I
mhm.
was like,
Yeah.
sorry, I was like,
Sorry,
I'm
I
still
should have
tripping out.
specified.
Sorry, I'm still tripping out because of School of Rock. That's a Rich Linklater film. Jesus, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
But you could see like between Hot Fuzz fight choreography to then Scott Pilgrim fight choreography to The World's End, you could just see like him getting better and better and better each time.
Dude, you're connecting something together that I never really thought about before. You also added Baby Driver to this conversation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dude, Edgar Wright really loves action in his
Or
movies.
his most recent movie, which I haven't seen yet, the
Running
remake of
Man?
The Running Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, when I heard they made a remake of The Running Man, my jaw like like unhinged to the floor. I'm like,
Hmm.
that fucking Arnold movie from the 80s. I was like, dude, that's like a bad Arnold movie. And then like I was shocked. I'm sure it was better than that movie, but it was we'll see. Did you see it, Nick?
No, I'm looking at the reviews for it. It was all right. Film
That,
Yeah,
3.5.
yeah,
but
see, yeah.
it's an
3.5 out of
action
10.
it's an action movie.
I mean, 5.
Like
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can tell there is action in all of his films. I think Scott Pilgrim really, I think Scott Pilgrim, I don't want to say revolutionized because I don't think a lot of films can follow Scott Pilgrim in Scott Pilgrim's footsteps, but it definitely showed how there can be action and comedy at the same time. It's just like perfect balance.
Yes. Yes.
yeah, and that could be well made, not like a crappy buddy cop movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, Pilgrim could have been really bad, because it's adapted
Oh,
from
it could have, yeah.
yeah, like, it's
It's
like
a
an
comic.
right, it's an adaptation of a comic, and like, it could have been really like I think there could have been missteps. I think it's a great adaptation, but it's interesting to place that in his filmography. I never thought about it like that before. Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
That's all I
Um,
was when I was watching that first big fight scene in the bathroom. I was like, this is really well choreographed.
yeah.
Yeah. They capture the absurdity really well. And I like there were times where like I feel like in like a zombie movie or whatever, like Shaun of the Dead, where like they let's use a funny instrument to have it be the weapon, and that gets like focused on. Whereas I realized like it almost was in the bathroom scene. It was like people were tearing apart life-sized Barbies and
Hmm.
hitting out other Barbies with it. Right, and just Barbies because like they're dolls. Like it was almost just like I was kind of like reminiscent of like the Santa Claus 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay, dude. First of all, crazy reference, crazy
Yep.
reference. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
big
give it
pull,
to
yeah.
you. We'll give it
Mhm.
to you. Yes, play is good. Play is good. But friggin' okay, that is maybe one complaint. This is like a nerdy complaint to have. Do they feel a little too easy to defeat at times? Like the alien, the androids as they were. They feel
I
like
mean,
a
we
little.
never saw or were told that they're great fighters.
True,
Mm,
but like I just feel like there's always like maybe I'm just troped up on Hollywood, but that it's like, oh, it's like for things that are mechanical inherently, you have to like outsmart it because you're not going to be able to physically beat it. I feel like
Hmm.
that's like a real like
mm,
trope in most, just Hollywood franchises,
Hmm.
but
yeah.
I would say this like they can easily the however many of them, I believe there's 6 total, can like take down like a lot of them.
Mhm.
They could theoretically like take down several each. In fact, there's that scene later where they're at the pub and that almost happens. I believe there's less of them at that point and they go kind of crazy. Um That's not to say it's not satisfying though. It's like okay, like no, like these host bodies or whatever are very disposable. You know. So yeah, no big loss.
Yeah. And then I think something we got to bring up though is this like third act with the computer
Mhm.
AI
Yes.
system, which felt
Voiced
like
by, Bill Nye what's his name? Bill
I
Nye?
Bill
Nye?
Nye.
Bill
Nye?
Yeah,
Nye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
really confusing. Um, yeah, this I didn't love this. It feels weird.
yeah.
It's a weird way
It
to
I
felt
end the
like
agree.
movie.
it
It's a
felt
weird way
like
to end
too
the movie.
much, way too much. Like, oh, the human race. Like this has turned into like the saving the world movie. Like it just was. This was not a disaster movie. It almost felt like it creeps into the Shaun of the Dead, right? Where it's like, oh, time to make
Yes.
things, really bad or something like really just absurdly
Yeah, the stakes are
worse.
insane. The stakes are
Yeah.
insane. Yeah. Um,
I think it's interesting that I think the issue with this one compared to the other ones is it's too on the nose. Like,
Yes.
it's a little bit more, I don't wanna say more obscure than, Shaun of the Dead. Like, we know what it's about, what it's trying to be, but it doesn't, like, just go out and be like, "I am the character that I am going to say what is wrong with everybody."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, "Oh, we need this character to go on a, little massive rant." Uh
Hmm.
and do their monologue about this. Where this one has like, oh, we're gonna monologue for a little bit for a few characters.
Yeah. Monologue. We're gonna tell you the backstory because we have to fill it in. And then also the computer. The computer's gonna tell you its whole plans. Cause that's what bad guys do.
Monologue. Yeah, you get a monologue. It's kind of crazy.
Hmm.
I I don't know, like, to kinda, like, even go, like, past that. I will okay. So, I think it was kinda funny that they went so big so quick, and then it's like, "Oh, yeah, but, like, this is even bigger." Like, it almost becomes like a satire what happens, at the
Mhm.
end where there's, like, a worldwide blackout because of their actions.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it's like we're now in like a like apocalyptic like thing
Hmm.
like where like most of the world is like devastated. It's like dark ages technology,
Yeah.
Mhm.
But hey, we do get some character arc for Gary. He's now sober.
Yeah.
We do.
He
We
wants
do.
some
He's
We
now
water.
do.
sober. Yeah, he ordered water with his with his friends, and they're sorry, I never like to like think like this, but it's like I know there's they keep calling them blanks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's blanks racism, which
Yeah.
and I'm like I would kind of get it, given that like they're indirectly responsible for like the current state of the world. You know,
Mhm.
they're like
Hmm.
their maker is like I would kind of get it. I would kind of
Hmm.
get it, but it's weird. It's weird for sure. This
Yeah.
ending's weird. This ending's weird. It's okay.
And he's weird.
Yeah.
They want to do like this kind of whole like computer from Wall-E type thing where they're
Mhm.
like, no, let's not save the human race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just
Mhm.
let it go. We'll just let it go.
We'll just let it go and let it be the way it is right now.
It was yeah, I don't know. The whole plot went from I think where this movie worked best was when it was examining the changing dynamics of friendships over time,
Hmm.
particularly when they were in the sports field house. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Um, and why that reason I remember so strongly is that that's where we discover where Nick Frost's character, why he's sober.
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, that's like fuck, kind of freaking heavy." And like yeah, like they're talking about stuff that occurred after high school but before the current time. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Damn, that is kind of interesting because like that vaguely stuff when the whole crash and everything happened is like our current life right now." So knock
Mm.
on wood, fellas, by the way, um, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So I guess we'll start to wrap things up.
for
Our
sure.
one sentence review of The World's End. So I'll give you guys a few moments to think about that. Uh, while you guys do, um, I want to say that thank you everyone for listening. The going between episodes once you guys listen to Hot Fuzz to this one, it's been about 2.5 months between recordings. Uh,
Wow, wow.
a lot going on between all of us, but at the end of the day, we always come back to you know wanting to record and to do this. Life gets in the way sometimes. Uh,
That is really funny. I did not realize so much time had passed, but
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, yeah. Um, wow, makes you think,
hmm But don't worry. You may think that we were gone, but we will not be gone.
Good one. Good one.
Wow, that's
That's good.
good. That's
That's good,
good. Yeah, that's
Ryan.
good. That's good.
Yeah, or
Wait,
should
wait
I
a second.
say
Wait a
we will
second.
not be gone, girl?
Oh, okay, okay. No, that's good. That's good. Let's try this one on for size. You thought you got rid of us? Well, think again. How about that? How about that?
Okay.
It's you that
Mhm.
got bamboozled.
Yeah.
I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot.
Okay.
Mhm.
You might think that this is this, I don't know. This is you
This is
might
really
think
working. This is
that
really working, by
Oh,
the way.
I got one. Hold on, I
Yeah,
got
okay.
one.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You might think that this is the end.
shit. That's what I was.
This is the world's end.
You
This is just the world's end.
you
There we
might
go.
think you
That's my
might
one
Mhm.
sentence revealed.
you might
This
think
is
I'm
the end.
crazy. You might think I'm crazy.
Can my
Um
cheeky letterbox
uh,
review be
Yeah.
like um you might be something like took a wrong turn heading to Land's End, the store, ended up at the world's end with a
The
drunken
pub.
Simon Pegg and a really angry
wha-
computer.
Mm,
Whoa.
Cheers.
that's good.
Okay, this is one of my most cohesive cheeky reviews. That was a good one, Nick. That was a good one, by the
That's a
way.
good one.
Thank you.
Um and yes, I did write it down. Well, it's not as funny as its predecessors. It makes up for it in its heart. The world's end is not the end of the world.
All right.
I
Okay.
like it.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
the
Yeah.
world's not the end of the
Solid.
world.
Not the end of the
Solid.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty
All
good.
right.
That's
Pretty
pretty
With
good.
good.
that being said, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, of course, Bill and Nick for being here doing this. You may ask what our next episode is going to be on. Hell if I know. You'll find out when we find out.
I guess so. I guess
Hell if we
so.
know.
Yeah, you know what? You guys
I've got
thought
ideas, but you know,
Mhm.
something we gotta discuss. Try to figure out. Um, with that being said, I don't even have one because I feel like we did all of our bits right even before the
Yeah.
uh with it being said.
I
uh,
maybe we can end on a wholesome note.
oh,
How can we do that?
wholesome
Yeah,
note.
how do we do that? How do we do that?
And with that being said, if you're eating Dove and it tastes like soap, you're eating the wrong Dove.
Wow, that is beautiful and very wholesome. And you know what? To all our terrestrial listeners, good night and good luck. Unless you're listening to this in the daytime, in which
Yeah.
stay awake.
Also thank you for listening.
And thank
Yeah.
you for listening.
Thank you for staying
Thank
with
you for
us.
listening.
Yeah, we always come back, right?
Yeah, we
Like
do.
Mm.
like a disease or a
Like,
Oh,
like,
oh wait a minute sorry I mean like a
uh,
parasite like wait a minute
oh,
no I was kidding no, I'm just
like a hive mind.
like a
like,
like an alien hive mind.
like cinema.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Shit.
mhm,
Okay. Okay. All right.
mhm.
All right.
We always come back to support you.
That's right.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
That's
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye, guys.
See ya.